Bro, there's this like woodpecker that won't shut up, but I guess we're just gonna have to deal with him. So anyways, I'm going to assume that you've already formed a band and are looking for a first gig or performance that, well, you want to perform in. And you're probably watching this video like the day before, like, because that's kind of what I did before my first performance. And so in this video, I'd just like to tell you the story of how my first show went, and some very, I guess, easy lessons, but also at the same time very important things that you need to remember to make sure you perform as best as possible and it sounds as good as possible. And I'm just gonna be honest, it probably won't be as good as you're hoping, but if you follow the things I say in this video, maybe it'll be better than if you just wing the whole thing. So my band and I were going to perform for the Halloween assembly at our school this past Halloween. It's like 5 months ago. And it's actually a pretty cool thing our school does. Not a lot of schools do it. It's just basically they organize just a bunch of different performances where students can just, I don't know, do whatever, dance, sing. It's like talent show that we do for Halloween. It's a pretty cool thing. So we were going to perform Enter Sandman, and on the day, when we got there, on the day of the performance, like 30 minutes beforehand, like the main organizer person said that we were going to be the opening act. And I felt like this is something they should have said kind of more in advance, but like whatever. I was kind of surprised, but you know, I had my weapon already. So 30 minutes before the doors to the auditorium opened and let the students in, we went on stage for the first time. And I mean, when you really think about it, we should have really seen what happened next, like coming, because you know, freaking half an hour before, haven't even been on stage yet. But you know, we were young, ignorant, and hopeful. So we went on stage and had our first, I'll say, sound check. And yeah, this is kind of scuffed. Our auditorium had these like pretty huge speakers, and they were like everywhere. They were hanging from the ceiling. They were like behind you when you walked in, and it was basically like kind of like this like surround sound system. And I thought we'd have like Metallica concert like level sound. I was wrong. So the second we went on stage, I realized that we were not actually gonna plug into the actual speakers. We were just gonna use our like tiny little amps. Like I have mine. Ignore the Ryan Reynolds. I have mine right there. And yeah, that's literally the whole amp that I used to. Jesus Christ! Oh no! Everything's falling. I'm a good YouTuber, trust. Okay, so that's basically the amp that I used for. That's the amp that I used to like power my sound through the whole auditorium. And like that would have been fine if I had like the volume turned up to max, because that thing's pretty loud. But the sound engineer person thing, the sound guy said that, and I'll quote him on this, that he knows what good volume sounds like better than the teenage mind, because like the teenage minds is like overly like excited about these types of things, and they tend to make stuff louder. And honestly, like, are you serious, bro? I mean, I'm no sound guy, but like using those tiny amps in like a huge room, especially when using distortion and like not turned up like all the way, like honestly that just sounds like a terrible. But you know what, like I believe them. This is our first show. Like we didn't really want to argue. So we had our sound check, we did Enter Sandman, we performed it one time, and then we literally went off the stage. But you know, we were hopeful. Anyways, the people came in like 15 minutes later, and right before the curtain opened, I managed to smack my guitar head on something, and I'm pretty sure all of the strings went out of tune. And here's the first lesson. For the actual love of God, please bring a tuner with you. And I don't mean like the tuner you have on your phone where you have to like play out the string, and like it like tells you if it's like tuned or not, because like for that you need like actual sounds, and like the whole audience just hearing you tune your strings, and like, so for that just bring something like this. I mean, these are not like the best, they're like $5 on Amazon, and like they're not like that accurate, although maybe I'm bad, but this is much better than having no tuner at all, because you can literally just like clip this onto the head of the guitar and tune in like 2 seconds. And even if it's not like accurate, as accurate as like the phone tuner, it's still much better than having your guitar completely out of tune. So the curtain opens, and we started playing. And I thought that in the first 15 seconds we were already basically screwed. We were just about to die, and like just like go home and quit. Because for one thing, well, the drummer couldn't hear the guitars, like at all. And well, there were a few reasons for this, mainly because the amps were right in front of the drum set, and so like the sound was going like this way, and then the drums was here, and the poor man just could not hear anything, at least not well. And so obviously he started messing the intro up a bit, because you know he couldn't hear any of us. And either I was just bad, or like something was actually wrong, because I don't think I could hear the other guitarists at all. So I started going like a bit off rhythm, but like somehow we managed to clutch up, and I don't think anyone noticed. And the lesson here is please do more than one sound check. And you know, I'm not even sure if we could call the thing we did a sound check, because there wasn't anyone actually in the auditorium seats like checking to see if the sound was good or not. It's like, I honestly don't know what we did or how we did it, but it did not work out very well. Like, we might as well not have done a sound check. That's like how like bad it was. If you actually do a sound check, make sure there's someone in the audience, like sitting where the audience would be sitting, like testing to see if the volume's actually good. Anyways, so I thought the worst was over after that intro, but yeah, once again I was wrong. So you could hear you could hear the singer, because he was plugged into he had like an actual mic. You could definitely hear the drummer. You could also hear the other guitarist. You couldn't really hear the bass player because, well, I don't know, it's a Metallica song, but also the mixing kind of sucked. And yeah, you just could not hear me at all. So when the sound man said that my volume was good, you know, I believed him, because once again I didn't want to argue. And I had to turn up my volume 2 times, but even after that, you still could not hear me. It was actually just like insane. When I was doing my solo, it just looked like I wasn't doing anything, and in a way, yeah, I kind of really wasn't, because no one could hear me. I mean, I looked the part, you know, I had my whammy bar, I was doing the bends, but you just couldn't hear me. I asked my friends afterwards that were sitting in like the auditorium, and every single one of them said that at some points throughout the song, all you could hear was basically just echo and noise. Just echo and distortion. That was all you could hear. So basically the next lesson is, if there's no one like to do the mixing, the mixing of the instruments for you, then you might as well just do it on your own. So recently there was another performance in our school, and there was this group of students that had like this whole EQ station set up with like the things they move up and down. Like, it looked like the professional producer, whatever, you get it, like the EQ things. And that just really goes to show that like you don't have to trust the teachers with doing everything, because since they're not really getting paid extra for it, like they won't try as hard. Compare that to like you, like who actually wants the performance to sound good, because you're performing in it. Like, you do a much better job mixing your own performance compared to someone else. And obviously, if you don't know how to do this and like your performance is like tomorrow or something, yeah, like you can't do that. But maybe just if you can't do that, try and convince the person doing it, I don't know, to try harder. Just like beg for extra sound checks, like for anything. Like if that's the only thing you get away from this video, is beg for extra sound checks from whoever's like producing it, doing the show, because I think that's definitely the most important part out of everything. And also, just don't expect perfection. Don't even expect the first show to be good, because like it won't be. But you know, that doesn't mean don't try. Just like don't be upset if it's not like freaking Metallica concert level quality. Anyways, even though the sound was kind of garbage, our singer still clutched up, and that was because he wasn't just a good singer. He was also a really good performer. Like he wasn't just standing there like looking at a blank point in space just singing the lyrics. He was actually like jumping around the stage. He was looking at the crowd. He was interacting with the crowd. He was like getting them hyped up. He was getting them like in the beginning he like told everyone to stand up and like started like said a bunch of stuff that got them excited. And I think that's really what actually saved the performance and made it like not that bad, like made it actually enjoyable for the audience. Because you have to remember that you're not just a musician when you're up there. You're also a performer. You have to interact with the crowd, because if all you're doing is just looking down at your instruments and not like doing anything else basically except playing, like even if the sound was studio quality, the audience, like a lot of them for the most part, they come to concerts because they want that kind of like performance element. They don't just want to hear like a backing track, like you know, like some people do, some like singers have like a backing track and then they're like lip sync to it or whatever. Like they don't want to hear studio quality audio. They want a quality performance, and for that you have to interact with the audience. You want to entertain them. So finally, there's almost never any reason to be upset about how your first performance goes. Even if it's absolutely terrible and you embarrass yourself in front of the entire school, that's still something. At least you did something. You did the hardest part. The first gig, the first show is always the hardest, because, well, obviously there's always like, you're the most nervous, and also you don't really know how to organize the things. You don't know how the stuff works. But after you go through these trials and tribulations of your first show, you'll be much more prepared for the second show, and it will 100% be much better, because like I said, first show was rock bottom and you can only go up from there. So no matter how it goes, just be grateful. And I guess you probably won't follow this advice, but try and like enjoy yourself in the moment. If you find like a slot of time like in the song where it's like not that hard, like just look up from your instrument, look at the crowd and like smile, like understand like what you're actually doing, because it's like cool as hell. And most people in their first performance, like I didn't really do this, but most people in their first performance don't just are way too focused on just playing the part right, which isn't a bad thing, but just try and enjoy yourself while you can. So if you have a performance tomorrow, good luck. Try and remember some of these things, like bring a tuner. Remember, try and entertain the crowd, like be a performer, not just a musician. Just beg for extra sound checks. And let's see, I already forgot what I said. And yeah, that's basically the most important parts. If you found this helpful, I'll probably be making more videos about like how I actually started my band, how I got my first gig, like autistic level of details, like what to do if you don't know even how to start. And I don't know, if you found this helpful, you can subscribe and I'll be uploading more. Thanks. Good luck on your first performance. Alright, so I decided to try and recreate the solo from my performance, and yeah, I haven't played this in like 5 months, so it's gonna be absolutely garbage. But no, I got the guitar, got the whammy bar, got the wah. Wow. Anyways, here we go. Nailed that. Hell yeah. Now, that was kind of bad, but whatever.